16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to a brand new episode of BMC Global Live Al Hilal Health World Nothing But Lifestyle. I am Jessila Mujib. Good health is a journey, not a destination. We are happy to have with us today Dr. Rahul Abbas from Al Hilal Hospital Adliya to discuss the topic diabetes prevention and reversibility. He is a consultant in internal medicine with an experience of over 12 years and his area of expertise include lifestyle diseases and diabetes management. To give a deep insight to this topic, we have with us Dr. Rahul Abbas. So doctor, thank you for being with us today and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So doctor, people always fail to accept the fact that they are diabetic. Okay. What's your observation on that?
Yeah, that's actually to start with a good question. It's true that no one, not just diabetes, no patient would definitely like to have accepting the fact that they have a disease. If it is you, me or anyone around, we do not want to be called as diseased. And forget about having fever, we agree that we are having rhinitis or fever or cough or pneumonia. But when it comes to a chronic disease like for diabetes or hypertension or cholesterol, people tend to reject the fact that they are diseased. Why so? Because there is a stigma, there is a belief about the disease which is going around, that once you have diabetes, that you are lifelong going to suffer, as if that this is the end of a healthy life. Second, people have a belief that once you start on a medicine for diabetes, then you are lifelong on that medicine. You have to then be on insulin. Lots of stigmas come around. Lots of beliefs, I should say misconceptions about diabetes. So that is the reason why you are okay to accept that you are having a pneumonia. Not okay, but definitely you are not rejecting the point that you are having pneumonia. But when I say that maybe you are diabetic, and then a patient always say, no doctor, I don't think so. Because they don't want to accept the fact that they are diabetic because of the scare of the disease. Now, on this World Diabetes Days notes, if you check for 2023, the message is actually know your risk, know your response. So if you know, if you are aware of the disease, if you are aware of the complications, if you are aware of what you must be doing in the proper way, then I think there is no need for the scare. So first is accepting the disease itself is the first step that you will take to make sure that your complications can be avoided, or even the disease can be reversed. So yeah, this is the reason why people are scared, because of the unawareness of exactly what diabetes is and its complications are. So that is why people do deny the fact that they are diabetic.
And there's a stigma associated with.
Exactly, there is stigma. There is a belief. I would say this is actually not the real fact. They scare you in different way. It is not that you are scared about the complications. Say, for example, if a person diabetes, they can have heart diseases, they can have kidney diseases, they can have stroke, they can have blurring of visions, they can have sexual incompetence. All this can come. These are not what they're scared about. They are scared about a stigma that once you are deceased, I am cursed. I may be having disease lifelong. It is never reversible. I take a medicine, then I will have to take lifelong. These beliefs are the ones that cause them stay away from the diagnosis of diabetes. That is the reason why in this world, 1 in 10 of every adult is diabetic now. 1 in 10 means like you see 10 people, one of them is definitely diabetic. But majority of them do not come forward because of the scare of what people say outside about diabetes. That is the reason why it is said that availability most important for patient. They should be able to avail or they should be able to access a healthcare center, one thing. And then secondly, affordability. So there should be accessibility, there should be affordability. Now when you are diabetic, how many of you think that sometimes believe that no, I may not be able to take the medicines, I may not be able to get to the correct place, I may not be able to follow up. So these cares also keep you away. But so the treatment for diabetes should be affordable and accessible and available also. Actually, it really stands merged with Al Hilal because our motto is also the same.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is why people do stay. These are the few reasons why people few stay away from being called diabetic.
Okay. So the topic today is prevention and reversibility.
Yeah.
So our viewers would like to know if diabetes is reversible.
That is one thing that has to come across. Earlier days when we talked about diabetes, we seldom spoke about reversibility because there was a belief, as I said, there was a belief in the world that once you are diabetic lifelong, it is never reversible. Now, maybe the disease may be there, but it is 100% reversible. Reversible in the sense that, say you are starting with diabetes, some doctor claims you are diabetic, and you just put on medicines, but do not believe that this is not reversible. It is 100% reversible, provided you put in an effort in the proper way.
Okay.
In ways from your side as well as in ways from our side, when I say the doctors or the hospital side or the healthcare provider side. So from the healthcare provider side also we need to put an effort, and from the patient side also has to put an effort.
Yes.
Now when we discuss of a disease which is there 1 in 10, it is not just the responsibility of the healthcare provider. It is not a disease anymore, like it is a lifestyle change that you are having to become diabetic. So the must effort should come from your side as well as from the healthcare provider side. Now when these both go together, well, it is 100% reversible. Now this is also a topic where people argue much about that how is it reversible. Now when you are diabetic, you must understand the point that happens in your body is not that you are not decreasing insulin or your body insulin goes down. It's not the truth. That is in type 1 diabetic. In the most common diabetes which we see around public here, especially in Middle East or in the Indian population here or anywhere, it is type 2 diabetes. That is the most one. So there is no insulin deficiency. Basically the insulin is not low, or I should say there is more insulin or insulin resistance in your body than others. So here there is no insulin deficiency. Insulin is there. So it is not like type 1 diabetic where there is no insulin, so you take insulin lifelong. Here it is not the scenario. Here the scenario is the insulin that is there in your body is incapable to deliver the glucose into the muscle.
Okay.
So if you have glucose in the blood, insulin has to come, get hold of this sugar moiety, take it to the tissues, take it to the muscles, take it to your organs and deliver it, so that the blood sugar glucose will fall down and tissues will get the sugar. When insulin fails to do it, it may be not because of the fault of the insulin, it may be because of the peripheral resistance. That is a term which we use, which means that insulin might take hold of the sugar, will go to the peripheral tissue, say for example the muscle, try to deliver it to the muscle, but that delivery is not possible. That is why the blood sugar will go high. If this is the case, if you are able to titrate the peripheral resistance, if the muscles are being forced to take the glucose moiety inside, if the insulin is tuned to deliver this glucose properly to the muscles, then there will not be any more sugar. So it is reversible, definitely. So your first question was about reversibility and prevention. So reversibility is this, it is reversible. From your side, you take measures to prevent, to help or relieve the peripheral resistance. From our side, we give medications and advices to help you clear off the peripheral resistance. Your diabetes is reversible. Now, the next question what you asked is the most important topic that we discussed from now. Why I say now, I'll tell you. Prevention.
Prevention.
So, prevention of diabetes, this was actually not thought about.
Yes.
We never thought about prevention of diabetes, because why? Diabetes is not a huge number. People did not thought that ever think that they will be diabetic the next day. But now we understand that if 1 in 10 is diabetic, then definitely you and me is going to be diabetic the next day. So this is where we should now think about prevention. So yes, it is preventable. Now that is a very big, that should have a very big noise outside that it is preventable. Because 1 in 10 definitely means that you are going to be diabetic in your family. So to prevent it, we should start working now. Now, what is the first thing to do? Whenever we say prevention, I would say it is before the onset of the disease. So I am basically looking at children. I'm not looking at adult now. I will first ask, look at the children around you. Children around you is our first target, if you ask me to do. So let us start from our home. Look at the kids, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, you look at them, they are never going to be diabetic. Is the wrong concept. If it goes like this, even they are going to be diabetic. So that is why it is scary. Not because that there is a stigma around, because you see the next guy or the next child growing up is going to be diabetic. So the take home message or the heavy noise that should come out on these days should be that diabetes can be prevented if you start at very young age. So let us look at the children now. Every children, just one advice, reduce your weight, one, and do not let weight gain. So if you are a kid, you have a kid at home and the kid is growing up, we like them to be like a plum, round face, round body, you like it, and you will see that the tendency is to feed them more and more, and okay, eat, no, if they don't know, eat little more. So the habit of feeding more, make sure that the child is growing in the sense that you feel, the mother or the father feels happy when the child is huge.
Healthy also.
Healthy, they believe it's healthy, is actually the misconcept. That is from where we should start. The child should be fed only when the child wants the food. It's not that you feed the child purposefully to make sure that the child is plump. No. So that is the first thing from your side. Secondly, make sure that to avoid weight gain in the child, make sure that you are not eating any unhealthy food. For example, when a child cries for a Pepsi or a cola, I don't want to mention any names, but any of these drinks, if you say, we say, okay, maybe the child is crying, you give one. Or when the child cries for a fast food, you provide one. And in untimely foods, when children start to take, let us make a habit that we do not promote any untimely food. Let us be disciplined.
Yes.
Prevention needs discipline. So let us be disciplined. As we teach them, as we send them to schools, as we give them how discipline should be at home in education and in all other allied factors, why not we think about disciplined health? So disciplined diet. It was initially like that. At some part of the evolution, I think this discipline has gone out.
Gone away.
Let us use all the social media, all the media is available, all the real world, which is the real world right now, if I say, is the virtual world, is now going to be the real world.
Yes.
So let us use all this world, because that is where the next generation is going to live, in this virtual world. Let us use all those medias to make sure that children are educated in this fact that let them try never to gain weight. Let them do everything that they never gain weight. Let them start disciplined in health. I know it is too much to ask for in this generation, but if you do that, these children, these generation, you can prevent them from becoming diabetic. And when it comes to adults who are not diabetic, but we know that we are going to be diabetic, I would say the same thing. Let us now start to live a disciplined life.
Yes.
So what is disciplined life? Disciplined life means you should have a good diet, good exercise, good sleep, and a good mind. Now, an youngster, of course, good mind should be there. Stress, maybe, of course, he should be able to handle it. But he forgets about his diet and his exercise. Because he takes his job, his responsibilities much above his health. Now, in this day, if you are looking for prevention, start now. Do not wait later to go to the gym or go to the ground or go to your sports center to start playing. You don't wait you to be diabetic to do all this. Let us start doing it even before we are diabetic. So diet, strict diet, I mean strict means avoid all fast foods, avoid all refined foods. Be on a natural diet. I'm not asking too much, like being on natural means I didn't say being an organic, but at least avoid the refined foods. All we can. I'm not saying that we can avoid every refined food, but at least we can avoid as much as we can. And carbohydrate consumption to reduce as much as possible. Deep fried foods to be reduced as much as possible. And more on a healthy diet, which is very easy. Now, I don't have to sit in a stage and tell what a healthy diet is. It's easily accessible on your fingertips to see what is possible for you. It is not that someone can sit and say a diet for everyone in the world. It is impossible. You choose your diet, because diet should be patient tailored. You can get a dietitian's help if you need to, if you are into it deeply. But even if you are not into, because a preventive patient will not be deeply into it. So what is healthy, you opt for yourself and go forward. Exercise every day, 45 minutes must. Though guidelines say 5 days in 7, I would say no. You are a young man, make it 7 days. If possible, make it 7 days. But okay, if not possible, at least 5 days. So like this, make sure that it's a part of your life. As you brush your teeth every day morning, why do you fail to exercise every day morning? No, let that be there.
Yes.
Whether it is evening time, whichever time you get, make sure you're physically mobile. So making yours physically mobile, making yours having a healthy diet, main 2 cornerstones. Stress and healthy mind, of course, an youngster will take care of. Then most important thing that you miss is the sleep. You must also have a healthy sleep. Healthy sleep of 6 to 8 hours must. You should focus on that also, because a good sleep helps you have a good body the next day. So you should also have a good sleep. If you can make all these 5 pillars strong, diabetes is preventable. So it is not a small talk to say about, it is actually a new topic to speak about, but you need more voice in the public to make understand that it is preventable, and moreover it is reversible, or if you have already.
That is very informative.
Yeah, thank you.
And doctor, you mentioned about the medicines.
Yeah.
So another common query is, if we start medication for diabetes, we have the assumption that we have to continue lifelong.
Yeah.
Can we stop in between, or we can reduce the dosage over time?
Exactly, exactly. That is one thing that scares people away from even accepting the fact that they are diabetic. Yes. I can just tell you some of the beliefs they have. The one common belief they have is, if you are diabetic, they first say that if you take a medicine for diabetes, you can have a kidney disease. Is a wrong statement. No. One. Then they believe that if you have diabetes and you take medicines, it may affect your liver. Wrong. 2, they believe that if you take diabetes, then no, tablet of diabetes or an insulin, I am on this medicine for lifelong, so I don't want to take it. That is wrong. These 3 statements I want, since you asked me this question, I would like to make it clear to the public that please do not have these beliefs. Why they have the belief, I will tell you. See, a person who is diabetic, say at 30 years of age, and starts on medications for say 5 to 10 years, after 10 years, you find that the patient's kidney values are abnormal. So the next generation who saw this will say, oh my God, my uncle was taking this medicine for 10 years, now his kidney function is abnormal. His kidney function is abnormal not because that he took the medicine, but because that is a complication of the diabetes.
Okay.
So if you are diabetic for more than 5 to 10 years, you have a chance to develop a kidney disease. Now, if you do not control it, you will have a kidney disease. So to control it, to treat it, is the reason why you took the medicine. The medicine did not do the harm of that kidney disease there. The medicine actually would have prevented the kidney disease, 1, or would have delayed the onset of the kidney disease. So medicine actually protected him, though the belief was that the medicine caused the kidney disease. It is not basically the medicine, but the disease itself has caused the kidney disease. The same with the liver disease also. Medicines do not have any impact on this. Moreover, if a medicine is destined to produce some disease, it will not be there in the market as such. So do not be scared about the disease. No clinician starts such medicines.
Okay.
But what happens sometimes in the public is, if you start to take medications yourself because you saw your brother taking or your father being on this medicine, and you start yourself, then I don't think it will be the best choice
Over
to
the
go
counter.
over the counter.
Okay.
So make sure that you consult. So accessibility, as I said, you must consult. There are services available everywhere. So please use them, talk to them, discuss with them, and then only start the medications. But the scare that medicines will cause kidney disease, medicines will cause liver disease is wrong. In diabetes, they do not. So that you can be safe about.
Okay.
Then the next question was, is it stoppable? You can stop.
yes.
Yes, you can stop the medicine. Why shouldn't you? For example, if you are able to bring down your sugars from your side and from the health worker's side, both put in an effort and bring down your sugars below the target, yes, you can, and continue with your effort. But your effort from your side or the health worker side doesn't stop. The medicines can be stopped, the diabetes can be reversed, but your effort to maintain a good health still have to continue, because that started even from your birth. It should start from your birth, because your aim is to live healthy. We forget the word health many times. If you start to live healthy and continue to live healthy, yes, it is possible to stop medicines. If you ask me personally, do you have patients? Yeah, I have many patients who have stopped their medicines because of excellent diet and healthcare. Even I have numbers which I do not want to disclose. How many of them? I keep a track on how many of them are really putting an effort from their side to keep them off the medicines if they do not want to. Because as you asked me also, I also do not want to be on medicine just like that. So I shall also try my best to make sure that I keep away from medicine. So yeah, if you can put in a good effort, if you can put in a good diet, good exercise, and all the 5 points I mentioned, a good sleep, stress-free mind, good health. If you can keep all these factors in place, well, you can be off medicines if you are on. It is possible.
Okay. So now you mentioned about some of the complications.
Yeah.
Can you make it a little more detailed?
Exactly. That is what, as you asked, that's a good question, because as I started with, awareness is important.
Complications of diabetes.
Diabetes, yeah. So awareness about what diabetes can do to you is important. Let us start one by one. Why I say one by one? See, diabetes is not a disease of one part. Okay, it's not like it's affecting one side, or you can say that it is this disease. No, it is not a disease of one part. It is not a disease of sugar. It's actually a disease of your whole body, because it affects all bodies. Basically, because it is a vascular disease. That is what I should say. Vascular means it's a disease of the vessel, blood vessels. So what actually happens is, if you have diabetic, if the vessels are affected, any organ, you should see the whole body is supplied by blood vessels. There is no area which is not supplied by blood vessels, so very few to mention, but otherwise almost all. So whenever a blood vessel is diseased, that means there is a disease in the whole body, because the whole body has a blood vessel. So when a blood vessel is diseased, almost all your body parts can be involved. Let us pick out some major parts. Say, for example, to start with, you see there is a blurring of vision, because diabetes affects your eyes, causing diabetic retinopathy. Diabetes can affect your heart. How? Not on the heart basically, but on the blood vessels supplying the heart. So they get narrowed, then you can have a heart attack. Same blood vessel supplying your brain can get narrowed, can get altered, causing a stroke. If it is damaging the blood supply to your kidneys, it can cause a kidney disease. If it is supplying to the legs and the blood flow to the legs are decreased, you have an injury in your leg, it doesn't heal, then you have to amputate. All happens because of diabetes. Not just to mention these big things. Imagine small things. Your nerve, which you are not thinking about. See, when you are sitting there, you know your leg is there, it's because there's a nerve supply. These nerves are also supplied by blood vessels, very small. Now in diabetes, when they are affected, the nerves get affected. So you feel that there is always a burning sensation under your feet. You feel there is tingling under your feet. You feel there is numbness on your hands, and it affects your quality of life.
Yes.
Similarly, most important, let's talk about is erectile dysfunction and sexual dysfunction that happens in men and women. Very important, major part of your life, your quality is maintained by a good sex. Now, this is also affected when you are having diabetes. So, if you look at that, a whole day or a whole day in a man's life, if you are diabetic uncontrolled, it affects almost every part of your body. And imagine a heart attack, you don't want it. A stroke, you cannot even welcome it. You are not able to see, you don't want it. And you always have a burning sensation under your feet, you cannot bear it. And a sexually impaired life, you don't enjoy it. So if you look at it, it actually did not kill you in any time. It's actually disturbing your quality of life. So these complications should be looked upon very, very, very aggressively. You do not want such multiple systems from head to toe, I mentioned, having diseases, and then I forgot to mention recurrent infections. Say every month you are having urinary tract infection, or every month you are having pneumonia. You find that you go to the public, somebody is coughing, you get the disease because you are immunocompromised, because you are diabetic. And forget about your appearance. You lose your fat, you lose your muscles, you look like emaciated, you lack energy. Nobody wants to enjoy all this. So the scare of diabetes should be at the complications, not at the medicines or not at the care that is around you. You should be actually scared at the complications. These are the major complications, if I had not missed any.
Okay, you already mentioned about the weight loss. So, please explain for us the connection between obesity and diabetes.
Exactly, that is how we were starting. Even when we said about prevention, it was to avoid weight. So, that means it all points out to state that if weight can be avoided, if you are avoiding weight gain, you can prevent diabetes. So, that means the weight has something to do with it, right? Yeah, exactly. So, if you look at type 2 diabetes, one of the factors that cause peripheral resistance, most important, is obesity.
Okay.
So, if you are having more fat in your body, the peripheral tissues will be more resistant to intake sugar. So, one of the main factors for peripheral resistance is your fat, your body fat. A reduction of fat will reduce the peripheral resistance, and more oxygen, more glucose can be delivered to the tissues. So, that is in simple terms, but I will show you how. See, a guy who is 110 kilos with excess fat, especially belly fat, thigh fat, so he has a central obesity. When you have such high central high fat in huge numbers, these fat create a resistance in the peripheral tissues for the insulin to act. The moment you start reducing the weight, two things happens. One, you appear good, you appear more healthy, you are more healthy. Two, the peripheral resistance decreases, more insulin can produce more sugars to the tissues, tissues are happy, your blood sugars fall. So, reducing obesity itself is the first treatment of diabetes, or I would even say is the major treatment of diabetes. That is the reason why the moment you start reducing your body weight, the medicines you take can be reduced, if the insulins you are on can be reduced, and there are lots of things that happens in treatment, in your health, in your day-to-day life. Even I said, as a daily living, your performance, everything increases the moment you bring down your body weight. That is the reason why now even treatment is aimed at reducing body weight first and thereby controlling diabetes. Yeah.
And some people take medication for obesity.
Yeah.
Do these medicines affect diabetes?
Okay, now that is also a good question. Actually, very few medicines, I should say 1 or 2, are actually approved for weight loss. Okay. But now recently we have a few of them in the market. They were basically anti-diabetic medicines. They were basically introduced for treatment of diabetes, and weight loss was only an accidental finding. But the aim of every treatment is anyway to have a weight loss, because weight loss will favor treatment of diabetes. So it comes together. It is not new in the world that some anti-diabetic medicines cause weight loss. It's not new. But now there is a trend in the market that you take medicines for weight loss. Now, I'm not against the statement, because of course weight loss is necessary. So any medicine you take, if it is causing weight loss, will definitely improve your diabetes for sure. But that does not mean the other waypoint. For example, say I am 78 kilos now, and I have a wedding the next month. I want to put down a bit weight more so that I look much more good. So I take a medicine for that. I gave this example of a marriage because I saw this in my life. Patients coming to you, doctor, can I take this medicine? Please, can you prescribe this to me, because I have a marriage in the coming month to come. I need to reduce 4 kilos. Now, that is not the concept. Your weight loss, your concept of weight loss was basically to give you a good health in the future. Reducing your body weight, improving your diabetes. This was our aim. It was not the cosmetic appearance. Of course, you can use it. I'm not saying that you should not use it. Your cosmetic appearance is also important value, but not in this way. It's not like to reduce 4 kilos for the next month. No, it's not for that. So that is one misuse which we are having. But if you're obese, yes, there are treatment for obesities. Very good medicines approved by the world now. And they do favor in the treatment of diabetes. So they help you reversing your diabetes, they help you controlling your diabetes, and they'll help you reducing weight. No doubt about it. But misuse should be prevented. Why I talk the term misuse today is exactly there is misuse too much on that.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening because it definitely reduces body weight. So there are drugs available. They are actually anti-diabetic drugs now. They cause weight loss as well as help in removing or reversing diabetes. Yes, they do that.
Okay, doctor, again coming back to our topic.
Yeah.
How can we prevent diabetes?
Right. So this is what we discussed. Now, to make it very clear, though I was just going around, I will explain these 5 points of diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, and a good mind. Let us start with the diet. So I started saying that low carb, low calorie is our aim. So whenever food we choose to eat, because I cannot in public sit and say what you must eat, because it is your choice.
Yes.
And it's patient tailored. Like I don't like some foods, I cannot take a Mediterranean diet, I cannot take this diet, it's up to me. So I'm not saying that we should follow one particular diet, but the diet should be like in this manner. As low carb as possible if you're diabetic, or if you're obese and you're aiming at prevention of diabetes. Let us take down the carb as low as possible. Try to put in more protein. Now, if you are reducing your carb and putting in more protein, itself helps in producing your weight gain. So your weight gain is controlled over there. And quantity, important.
Yeah.
You cannot take too much of food, whatever you're eating. And 3, whenever you make food, make sure you avoid any toxins or food that can damage your health. Say, for example, deep fried foods. Let us avoid all the deep fried foods. Beverages, we do not want beverages.
Yes.
Smoking, we cannot take smoke. Now, these parameters are very common, known to all. Let us avoid these. They not only help in weight loss, but they prevent you getting complications. So let us avoid the unhealthy part and focus on a very low carbohydrate, a good proteinaceous diet. This is the diet. Now, I can still segment it into smaller pieces and explain, but it will be like a very long topic for each and every individual. But in short, this must be kept in mind. Secondly, you can avoid refined foods. Say, for example, you have a coffee. Now, the question is, why you add sugar in it? People say, it's taste. I would say, if you are looking at prevention of diabetes, coffee itself is very tasty. There is no need for sugar in it. That is the reason why you go to any Starbucks or Caribou, or not mention any coffee shop. They don't add sugar. They give you sugar. Why? Because the coffee itself is sweet. It's a bit tasty. If you find the taste in it, well, then you don't have to add sugar. So if you can avoid all the refined elements in the day-to-day life you take, the food you eat, that also is another big step for diet. And then put more vegetables and more fruits. So if prevention you're aiming at, you're not a diabetic so far, so your prevention you're aiming at, make more vegetables, make more fruits, less carb, and avoid completely all the toxins that can affect you. So this is where diet stands.
Diet.
And exercise, yes, 45 minutes of exercise should be there. When I said exercise, people have a concept that walking is, walking is the best exercise, no doubt about it, one among the best. But it is not always sufficient. Your aim is prevention. People often forget on the fact that weight loss is not just one point. You should have some muscles also. See, your bone, your skeletal system is kept steady by the muscles. You don't talk about muscles now. When somebody says that you need to develop muscles, you first think of six-pack Arnold Schwarzenegger. No. When you talk about muscles, you need some muscle strength. So some isotonic exercises shall be done along with your regular walking to help you have some good muscles. So it does not mean you should go to gym, you should have a weightlifting. No, some ground exercises. After you're walking, you put some effort for some ground exercises so that you can have some muscles also. So every week, at least 5 days. And I would say if you're aiming at prevention, you're an young guy, keep it 7 days. But if not possible, at least 5 days in a week. Exercises as walking or swimming or any regular cardiac exercises with some thing to aim at your muscles also. If you can mix together in 45 minutes at least, can help you prevent diabetes. Sleep, I said, yes, we need a 6 to 8 hours of a healthy sleep. Focus on sleep schedule. You can keep a sleep schedule so that you sleep healthy. And then stress-free. So avoid stress. It's very easy to someone say to avoid stress. It is not possible.
Yes.
But at least things that you can leave, which are heavy for you, you're carrying too much, things you can leave, you start leaving them. If you are able to leave something that you hold heavy in your hand, it itself relieves your stress. Such measures, yoga. Very important to relieve stress as a part of exercise also. Adopting something like that. If you ask me, am I qualified to speak about yoga? No, I'm not a qualified person to speak about yoga, but doing yoga, that's one modality where you can relieve stress as well as you can improve your health. As a part of exercise, it can be considered. So that too also favors in reducing or preventing stress and thereby preventing diabetes. And a healthy mind. Why don't we think more proactively? So when I say avoiding stress as one factor, why don't we think of a healthy mind? Like proactive, productive, creating you a healthy environment, a happy environment, boosting your positive energy. Such measures, say people say they have singing, somebody dances, they Zumba dance, you choose a Zumba, you are a dancer, you go for that. It It gives you mental pleasure, reduces body weight, prevents diabetes. So one example I'm saying, if you have pets, if you have hobbies, whatever makes you happy around, because you should think of productive mental health also. If you are able to do that, these 5 corners are met. This is how you prevent diabetes. You start not today, you should have started yesterday. Means I want the younger generation, the kids in school to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, the teachers to listen to this.
From the base.
Yeah, from there, let the teachers in the schools, let the kids in the schools, they get this point that it is here I should start my actions, so that I don't become a doctor, I am not becoming a lawyer, I am not becoming a photographer, I am not becoming a journalist. No, that is there on one side, but I want to be healthy. I am sure I will be diabetic. Why don't I start preventing now? So, to make it very louder to the public, health should be one topic that is taught in the schools right from the childhood age.
That's true.
As you say, you teach them brush your teeth, very good. Of course, it is good welcoming. But why don't we teach them what is healthy diet, what is healthy exercise, what is health basically?
Yes.
So this should be loud and clear in the public. That is how you prevent diabetes.
Okay, doctor. So diabetes is always said to be a silent killer.
Yeah.
How do we observe this?
Exactly. Now the word silent, of course, killer is very clear. We saw it as affecting your heart, it's affecting your brain, it is affecting your kidneys, we saw that. Now what is the silent? The word silent is, see, many diseases when they present, they have a large spectrum of symptoms. For example, pneumonia presents with severe cough, fever, or if you have typhoid, it comes with fever, vomiting. You have lots of symptoms that makes it loud. But diabetes is silent because normally, usually, it does not produce any symptoms.
Okay.
You are unaware that you are diabetic. You are unaware that you are hypertensive. You are unaware that you have high cholesterol, because they don't produce symptoms as you expect them to produce. Say, for example, you wake up 2 times to pee at night. You just ignore it, fine. That, okay, so what? It does not disturb my sleep anyway. It's only 2 times more I wake up. And you find that you are losing a bit of your face becomes slim. You think, oh, okay, I'm losing my weight, it's good for me. So you ignore the symptoms that come around, and these comes at the later stages. So when you are diabetic, by the time the symptoms appear, it's actually you are late.
Yeah.
So even before that you are diabetic. By the time your vessels will be damaged. So you can have a stroke, you can have an attack, and you will have absolutely no idea that you're going to have it. That is the reason why we say it is silent, because these diseases do not produce a loud noise of symptoms around you that is going to come. That is the reason why you do not actually care about it, because you don't have any symptom. When people come to me and say that your sugars are very high. No, doctor, I do not have any symptoms. I don't think I have diabetes. Because they believe that it should produce something. No, they don't. So you remain ignorant of the disease, and then you end. This is why we call it silent killer. Now that is where the importance of regular checking, regular blood testing, regular visits do help. That is why the previous year Diabetes Association would like to mention the point that accessibility. Now you cannot go to travel half an hour to do a blood test for sugar. How often you will do it? But if you are accessible, you have services available everywhere, then definitely you will tend to look for it. And now you have modern measures where you can sit at home even without pricking. Of course, you have a glucometer where you can prick. But even other than that, you have measures where you just attach something on your body and you check your mobile every time you get values and number with just one single prick. So all measures are there, and now there are new watches where you just have to tie in your hand, your blood sugar is there on your watch. So let us adapt all these measures, use them, so that the silence is broken. Okay, you are made sure you are diabetic. So your question was, why is it silent? Yeah, this is how it doesn't produce much symptoms. You are unaware of the disease, and then the disease causes the complications, and you pay for it. So that is why we call it a silent killer.
So, doctor, I would like to know about the connection between diabetes and heredity.
Okay, that is also important. That is how it is going to set in now. Yeah. Apart from type 1 diabetes, not that one, but the type 2 diabetes have a very high genetic predisposition, which means that if you are diabetic, it's a very high chance your kid is going to be diabetic. Say, for example, if one partner in a family, if one parent is diabetic, you have more than 50% chance to be diabetic. And if both are diabetic, your mother and father is diabetic, you have very high chance, more than 70%, that you can be diabetic. So, if even otherwise, 1 in 10 is going to be diabetic, maybe more than that is going to be diabetic. Over this is the genetic predisposition. So now this generation, if you see adults, almost more than 1 in 10 is diabetic. in the whole world and in some countries, especially India, we see a very high boost of diabetes. It's not 1 in 10. Now where the next generation is going to come, since it is genetic, they have a very high chance of diabetes. That is the reason why the importance of prevention was so much talked about. Because there are other factors, social factors that pull or push these younger generation to be diabetic, upon which you have a genetic predisposition also. So if you have a family history of diabetes, you are very prone to be diabetic. So that is there, that sword is there above your head when you are born. And if you are not taking care of your health, you are going to be diabetic for sure. That is the reason why I told you that in this session, let us make very loud and clear that prevention should start not at 50 years of age, not at 40, not at 30. It should start at 3 years of age from school. If you are looking at that age, then we have a chance of prevention. So we already are genetically predisposed. Our parents are diabetic, so we are going to be diabetic. Is there above us. So the significance is that since that is there, let us start very early. If you ignore, you become diabetic because you're genetically pre-born. So genetic is there. It is not that you should cover it up. It is a true fact that if your parents are diabetic, you have very, very high chance of diabetes. But that does not mean that you will be diabetic for sure. No, you can prevent it as long as you are trying to be very healthy.
Okay, doctor. You have described almost everything about diabetes. But any kind words of advice for our viewers on the lifestyle modifications?
Yeah, exactly. So, this word lifestyle modifications you asked is good because I am into lifestyle modifications.
Okay.
All what we discussed, the 5 headings are basically the lifestyle modifications that we do. Yes. But as a message, now we are all in a world where we are diabetic everywhere, and now people just don't ask because there is a habit that when somebody is serving coffee or tea, no, they simply ask this question that no sugar, right? Because anyway you are diabetic. So I would say there is no need to ask. No sugar is the best way to do. Message should be prevention, no doubt about it. And let us now start from the schools. This is what I want to tell. We have been trying many measures, like starting to exercise, starting to all the lifestyle modifications at 40, but no, that is not what is the right thing to do, I believe. I believe, yes, those who are diabetic, those who are adults, who are not diabetic, let them all start this. But on a day like this, the message shall be focused on kids, on schools, on teachers, because they are the, a teacher builds this world actually. Yes. They are the framework, or they are the real engineers behind a new world, a new generation. So let me focus, let me loud and clear to them and the kids in school and everywhere that the aim is that you should prevent diabetes and that should start at school age. So that should be the loudest and clear voice. That should be from my side and from Al Hilal side, that we are also aiming for same. That is the reason why we have a walkathon coming, which is to spread the news to the world that yes, there is diabetes around, know your risk, you should know your response, and let us try to prevent it.
Spread the awareness.
Awareness and try to prevent it. Let us start it from the kids in school.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you for being with us and giving us a lot of valuable information about diabetes, prevention and also reversibility. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So viewers, I hope this was a very useful and informative episode. As doctor said, eat healthy, exercise more, stay happy, stay healthy, and this is Jasila Mujib signing off. Good night.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.